Fireblade here with another tutorial, and this tutorial will be about gel, propulsion, and balance. The last tutorial didn't cover up the running, and there's been some problems with the camera thing. Now at the top left you're gonna have camera. This is basically everything: smooth, light map, shaded, textured, polygons, textured, flat, wireframe. Flat basically puts simple colors. Textured is what you normally play on. Shaded puts a little shade in there. Light map grid. When you have light in here, it'll provide some more light. And smooth. This is when you have like hills and all that, like a outside kind of map. But for now, we just play on textured. The first thing you might see is I changed my textures. I did that. And so we're going to be changing these rooms because they're a bit big. So I'm going to change them real quick like. These textures are more neat, they're cleaner, the walls are just way too big. Made it just for the tutorial purposes, you know. And the repulsion gel is kind of hard to learn out there if you don't like Google it or something. It's sneaky, you would say. And so some problems had problems with the running. Click on File, Run Map, right here. I normally run additional game parameters, and if you already have Portal 2 up, click on Don't Run the Game after compiling, and you want to click this button here, that button there. You'll want to click that button and then type in map, and then whatever your map name is. But if you don't have Portal 2 already up, you type this and it will start Portal up on your map. Yours will normally look like this without any additional game parameters, but additional game parameters allow you to have a certain part in your, like a little, pretty much a little view of your console at the top left, see if you have any errors or anything. And if you noticed, I just had an error. I had that on purpose. Now load point file. Click yes. Now somewhere in the map there's going to be a little error. Right there. That's because the player is outside the region. Simple fix, put them in. Now even if you load the point file again, that exact error will be still there no matter what, that exact red line. So don't worry if like you run the map and load the point file again. If it's the same exact red line, it's no problem. Alright, now let's get to the repulsion gel. I'm going to expand these, and this is all for the idea I had about the repulsion gel. I'm going to move it right there. You're going to move this right here. So you can see we got a little thing there. I'm also going to move it, copy and paste it backwards, which I probably should have done in the beginning. I'm also going to expand this to the side. Just the wall. Now, the character, the player, cannot jump up this without a portal. So, that's a simple, easy little thing there. I'm on my wrong grids. Alright, so here's another thing. Don't need that wall. This wall can be all the walls on this side. Same thing with this one, except the problem is we have that. So, don't need that wall. So what we do is we just expand it right there until we need it. I'm also going to increase it up. Say it's flush with this. I'm going to create a big huge room outlining the entire map. And I'm going to move it one under on each corner, which it appears to be at, except here, which looked weird. And you may have noticed it was not on top. So I can easily move that back to where I wanted it. Right there. So I'm going to do the simple make hollow, -8, and then ungroup. I'm going to go to the middle and find the bottom piece because we don't need it. Right here is the ceiling to the other room. I hope you guys don't mind my bird squawking. It is really annoying right now. And I'm going to move it back to this wall. Make sure you make it flush. Don't look good. Then I'm going to copy paste it and move it right here. And this is a little gap for a little something. It's too less of a gap, so I'm going to increase it. Just like that. If you saw that, that was basically the texture shift problem. When you like drag things, when you make them shorter, smaller, larger, that's gonna happen. Just like this little here. I deleted that wall, but that's a simple fix. I can select it and move it over one. I can select it. Oh, this one doesn't need it. Does this one? No. Alright, so there. This room's smaller. You can get to the goal a lot easier, and then you can jump over here. Now you're gonna have a little problem up here. Alright. So let's go to Entity Tool, Prop, Button. I've never used these ones, but I understand it perfectly clear. That's the floor button. We don't want that. We want the button. Well, I do. So I'm going to select it. Like I didn't explain that well in the previous video. Right click it and go to Properties. Or you could click Alt Control. And then here, I'll rotate it. Negative works too. X, the middle one would be your round. This one would be your like side view, and the same thing with the other one. It would also be your side. Or that would be your rotational side if you already have your X coordinate used. Now let's put this button in a good location. Put it right there. And I'm gonna have to put some pixelization in here. And that's it's fine. Not good. That was why it looked weird. That's why it didn't go along when I put it on the bold line. Alright, so I'm going to stick me another block right here. Create a block. Adjust it to what you want. Oops. And I'm going to put it right here. This is going to make it very, very clear to the player that's playing that this is going to be a goal that you might want to partake in. That looks good. So I'm going to bring out the texture tool. I'm going to make it white. Then I'm going to left click on the wall, and I'm going to right click on the sides. Now, that don't look that great. So I'm going to move all this texture back one. Minus 32. Oh, that didn't work on that one, so you just put it as 32. Alright, now, here's a really awesome thing about Valve. They released a Zoom Mechanics thing, right here. Every single mechanic, the tunnel, the aerial faith plate, the goo, and everything else will be inside here. You even got your spawns right over here. And the cool thing is, these things here are actually just blocks, except they've been changed. So what you can do is, you select them, go to the block tool, maybe just move this down a little. Alright, and at the very bottom right, you can see this. Click on Create Prefab. I've already set mine. They don't, if it has entities in it, like this big huge thing, it's pretty much an entity because of what Valve did. It's a func instance. Now let's close this and go back. So after you create your prefab and you name it, create a block tool, select it right above your big huge white plate that you created, or whatever else you want, and put it right there. Go to prefabs in your selection and click tunnel. I did it in 2 pieces, so I'm gonna open that one, and then I'm gonna do, oops, I did the wrong one. So let's do that again. I made it as goo tunnel, then I did it as goo head. Alright. So let's move this up. And it'll look good. Alright, it'll look good. So that generally is what you want. You can make it lower, and then you can organize it however you want there. I don't understand the middle part, but what you could do is you can pretty much make your own of these. All it is a block. A simple block. Now remember, make sure this thing is perfectly over top, or this is gonna look really weird. See, now this is not tall enough. I thought I made it tall enough, so let's make it bigger. Move it up. Still not tall enough. That's, whoops. Make this back up top. There we go. Now that looks about right. Oops, we forgot the one wall. Well, I did. Now, the thing with stretching multiple pieces is it's no longer a grid of 8. So you can either go by and make sure everything's correct, which I'm doing. Sorry about that. Alright. And now the goo will fall here. But you ask, how do you make the goo? Create the entity tool and go to the objects and type in paint. Info paint sprayer. Go down till you see that orange thing. Not gonna work. So you go to like that. Thing is, you have to move this directly under the tunnel. This, I'm gonna call this the tunnel. The cylindrical block. And move it underneath it. Alright? Then you're gonna go into it in the properties, and you're gonna, in here is going to be pitch, yaw, roll. You point at it, and then you click on your camera, and then click where you want it. I'm gonna click smack dab in the middle of that, which didn't seem to work. So now you're gonna do it like this. Apply. Now if you look at it, it's going to look like a lamp. And it's looking straight down to that white block. So now I need to set what I want it to be. I'm going to set this one to speed. And then blobs per second. Second consists of how many these blobs are. General good, if you want to stream, 15 seems to be perfect. Alright. And then start active. If you want to start on where you don't need a button, select this and click on yes. Min blob speed. This is the speed at how fast it will move. It's all random. I'm going to select that, and blob spread radius, angle, percentage. This is random. If you put radius, it's how it won't be accurate to where you want it. If you do angle, it's sort of the same. If you do percentage, it's how much it spreads. So a good one for this one that I've seen to come across would be like 15, but I'm going to go 18. This is random values. You can tinker with that. I have not tinkered with it. I think it's something along the lines with how randomly it spreads. Alright, so now we have a goo, a button, a plate, and another plate. So now, what we're going to need is to use this button. Go to Alt Control, Properties, go to the Outputs tab. This is going to be the pretty much the science part. Click on your add. My output named on pressed, if you notice, is on pressed blue and on pressed orange. You can add co-op features kind of thing in here. Targets entities named. Well, we need to name that first. So let's go to this, go in here, on name tab, type in whatever you want, any random thing. I'm going to type in speed gel. Everything must be unique. You can't have multiples with the same name and they'll all go off at the same time. So let's click speed gel and we're going to put it on to start. And it's going to start instantly. It's only going to fire once. Then we're going to copy and paste that, and we're going to change it to stop. And on the delay, we're going to have 5.0. This is seconds. After 5 seconds, it'll stop. Now I'm just going to take a quick look at something. Alright. Make sure it fires once. It's going to look weird if not. Not really. If you click fire once, it'll only start it once. If you don't, special things like on plate buttons, it'll constantly do it. Okay. Now it'll drop the goo. Now the problem with that is it's not going to work. So you go to your map at the top left and then click map properties. In here you're going to find paint in map. You want to put that on. If you're going to use gel in your map, just a single map, put this on. I don't know if it matters if you have like a stream, a campaign like Valve does, but I don't know. So put that on. Now it'll work. It'll apply it. But the only problem is you're not going to see it. So you're going to want to go to your entity tool. In here, type in light. Just basic light. Basic light. I'm just going to apply it randomly. Light. Light. That should be enough for this entire room, honestly. But some people like to keep their shadows, their brightness low due to certain reasons. And I'm going to light this up just in case the player can't see that. I'm also going to put a light right here. This should be perfect amount. All you need is a couple if you're looking for a darkness kind of room, but you gotta remember there's certain people out there that play in low shadow brightness because of there's problems. Like some stuff is too bright. There's the glass rooms inside of the Portal 2, Portal 1. The glass rooms seem to emit a very bright light. Some people lower their shadows for that, their brightness, and it's an easy fix. Alright, so now we got that. So now, here's what another thing we can do. We can just play. Now I'm going to put another paint in here. Now I'm going to put 4 of them. That one's too low. So I'm going to have to lower it, increase it, and then I'm going to select everyone. I'm going to click Control Alt and click Bounce Gel. Alright? Now I'm going to deselect them. Then I'm going to change their origin, their point correctly. I'm going to change everyone to be pointing correctly. I'm going to change them all. I'm going to change them all to be pointing at the opposite corner. Make sure you don't click on the other entity, or else it's going to click that one, and it's not going to work. Alright, so I'm also going to select them all again. And I'm going to do blobs per second. 5. Nah, let's do 10. Then I'm going to put the streak percentage as 35, just to make sure this entire area is done. Let's do 75 to 150. Alright. Now this is your job to do the detail. I'm just tutorial. Alright, so now click on your tools, go to type in tool in the filter, click trigger. This is going to be invisible block. I'm going to put it directly over top the entire white block, and I'm going to move it 2 wider, 16 wider, and then I'm going to make it all the way up here. And this will basically be a trigger. Oops, that's another thing. Make sure that when you decide to go back, you go into your primitives, block. So I'm going to trigger this when the player is up here. Alright, this is basically the same thing as the button, except it's different. Alright, so click it and click on over here. At the bottom right, click to entity, Funk Detail, and then add, and then in here you want trigger. I keep typing U. Trigger. Am I wrong? I think I am wrong. Let's move it to world. No, it needs to be empty. Oh, I'm confused. Really confused. Okay, let's change it. Trigger. I'm sorry about that. Man. Alright, trigger once. Go to change the class to trigger once. On start touch, the bounce gel will start. Fire once on it. Do the same thing as you did with the those problems right here. Same thing you did with the speed gel. You want to start it, and you want to stop it after a few seconds. And then you want to add another one. I did the wrong one there. Right. Copy, paste. Then you want to kill it. Kill. Then you're gonna have to name it. Forgot to name it. Trigger gel. Name it, and then apply this to 4.1 or 05, whatever you want. You basically want to do it after the gel. Make sure you click apply so that you get it in the entity thing. Okay, trigger gel. You're gonna have to wait 4.5 seconds. Okay, that should work. Start, stop after that. No, that's not gonna work. This stupid thing keeps changing every time I go to the left. Alright. Okay, there we go. Now, basically when the player bounces up, he triggers this, and the gel will start. You basically want to do that, just be safe, or cool effect or something. And it'll look good. So this video is 32 minutes long so far, and that's where I end. So I'm going to file, run map. I'm not going to run it for the sake of the video. Lag. And done. So for the makeup of what we've done, check out the video after this.